What's up, guys? It's your boy, Radical. Now, my workout plans have been a success. More than 300 plus purchases and many more returning customers. You cannot ask for anything else, and people are loving it. The same life-changing and affordable prices still remain. So go to radicallatino.com and change your life today. Hey guys, do you have a product you want more eyes on? Advertise with the Radical Latino Show, where over 10K podcast downloads and the number 25 spot on the 55 All Latin podcast list. You'll want your product heard on everyone's phones and cars. Go to radicallatino.com/contacts and start advertising today.
Playing the Radical Latino Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands in the air. The New York's very own
Radical
Latino is taking you to another level.
I think there's more radicals than Stevo. Radical Latino, you're buffing it. The radical point of views, I think his views are actually more dangerous.
What up, my people? It's your boy, Radical, aka number 17 on All Latin Podcast, aka number 24 on All Bronx Podcast Influencer List, and Mr. Unsuable for 75 weeks running. What is going on? I hope everybody is doing great. I hope everybody's doing good. I want to just apologize because it's not a visual podcast this week. Next week, I'll go back to the regular format. My bad, my fault. But I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody's doing good, you know, with this whole thing. I'm starting to see that everybody, like, you know, this whole thing is dying down. This whole little virus, you know what I'm saying, is dying down. So hopefully we get over this whole thing and we start this whole year out great. You know what I'm saying? So couple of updates I want to give everybody. My documentary, Open Wounds, A Island Divided, part 1 is already out and it's making waves. Part 1 is already out. It's on my YouTube channel. It's on free. It's for free. And people are already amazed at how professional it is, how good information it is, and how big of a quality and professional quality it is. So I want to give a huge shout out, not only for me but for y'all, because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't have never even done this. You know, this has been a documentary in the making for like a damn near year and a half already. I just been waiting to get clearance on certain interviews that I use for the podcast. So for the documentary, my apologies for the documentary. The reason why is because I didn't interview these people, you know what I'm saying, but I couldn't get in contact with them. So the only way I could have done so is by using the clips, and fortunate enough, I was granted access by PBS to use the clips. So thank you to PBS. Shout out to them. I used the clips for the interviews that they gave me, the raw interviews. I had to edit it out, edit them up, and all this other stuff. So definitely shout out to them. And part 2 will be coming soon. I'm getting a lot of things prepared this month. I got a lot of things on my mind and a lot of things that I'm taking care of. So bear with me, please. Bear with me. I got a lot of things I'm taking care of. The website for Open Wounds, it's still under construction. It's being made up as we speak. I got a lot of things that I'm doing with that right now. And I'm trying to get some interviews on the way with part 2. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'll definitely keep you guys updated. If you guys go to my Instagram, radical_Latino_, I will be posting updates on my Instagram daily. when this whole thing starts up. You know what I'm saying? So definitely look out for that. I'm not gonna be reading comments for this episode. I'm gonna do it for next week. Again, I got a lot of things going on, so I didn't want to leave y'all without an episode this week. The reason why I did so last week is because the documentary came out, and I wanted to keep that as its own separate thing. I wanted to shine and all that. So far, it got like 2K views so far, so big response for it. And again, thank you very much for you guys doing so. Also, I am promoting this documentary like crazy. I got a couple of Facebook, Instagram ads already going, so definitely you know, that's a big help. You know what I mean? Now, just give you guys another update. I'm going back to my regular program every Saturday, you know, live streams every Wednesday, podcast episodes and all that. So definitely look out for that. I'm going back to my regular program next week. So this whole beginning of the month is a little weird for me. You know what I'm saying? Because of the whole documentary and all of that stuff. So definitely look out for that. Now, I want to move on to our first topic. Whoopi Goldberg suspended. Oh my God. Okay, so Whoopi Goldberg went on The View and basically said, I don't, the whole Holocaust thing, right, wasn't about race. It was a bunch of white folks coming together, disagreements about, you know, who is, you know, pissed off by who or whatever the case is, and that's what, and whatever happened. You know what I'm saying? And that's what she said. And pretty much the powers that be got pissed off and checked her on it, and rightfully so, because she ended up getting suspended. And it caused a big backlash on that whole thing. I will go, my opinion on this whole Whoopi Goldberg suspended thing is she's right. It wasn't about race, because let's be completely honest, Judaism is a religion, not a race. Big difference. Like Muslim is a religion, not a race. You know what I'm saying? Big difference. And we have to call out the differences, and rightfully so. I don't care who gets mad. I don't care who gets pissed off. And I don't care how ideological your thing is. Being Jewish is not a race. It's a religion. People could stop being Jewish overnight. You cannot stop being black overnight. You cannot stop being Latino with brown skin overnight. Let's stop. You know what I'm saying? Let's cut the crap. Being Jewish is a religion. That's what it is. It's not a race. There's a big difference with that, okay? Let's keep it real. With the whole 23andMe, Oxynazi, no, get out of here with that. It's a religion, not a race. Because that's the same, I'm going to use the same tactic for the naysayers out there. I'm going to use the same tactic, right, that I used with this white supremacist that I debated. I'm going to use the same tactic. If Jews was a race, right, and you could tell them apart from any other person, right, then why were they wearing stars in Nazi Germany to identify them? If it's a race, which means you could definitely identify a Jewish person if it's a race, but no, it's a religion. Let's cut the crap. It's a religion, just like Christianity is a religion, just like being Muslim is a religion. It's a religion. So she's like, this had nothing to do with race, and she's absolutely right. It had nothing to do with race. The whole Nazi, you know, type of thing when Hitler was up in power, it had nothing to do with, you know, he had his own racial, you know, views, but it had nothing to do with race when he was attacking the Jewish people. He was attacking them due to his own biases, and because he just made up a whole thing talking about they control a whole conspiracy theory based on why Germany is in a messed up situation. That's the main reason why he did what he did. You know what I'm saying? That's basically why he did what he did. Did it make it true? No. The majority of this whole world is not controlled by the small hats. That's BS. That's complete BS. A lot of people like to say, "Oh, it's jam co-." No, that's BS. That's a conspiracy theory that is all that's time. Okay? Because at the end of the day, that's not true. This whole world is controlled by white supremacy. That's the main thing a lot of people don't want to realize. And a lot of people who do realize that don't want to talk about it. They don't want to call out white supremacy. So what they do is they want to cherry pick and put the blame on a certain group of people and say, no, look at that. No, look at that. We're not racist because it's controlled by the, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole mind game. Do not fall for it. Do not fall for it. Because if we're talking about who controls who, you know what I'm saying? There's black Jews that are being slaughtered, they're being detrimented, they're being ostracized all up in, Israel and also here. But they're Jews though. So which one is it? There's black Jews that are not controlling anything. So which one is it? You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. Which one is it? So let's cut the crap. Let's cut the crap. You know what I'm saying? It's white supremacy. That's what it is. It's a bunch of white folks who so happen to practice one religion that have majority of the stake in this thing that we call planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? It's white supremacy. That's basically what it is. Let's cut the crap. Let's not go into this whole minefield of conspiracy theories. You know why? Because then we're gonna get lost in the sauce. Once we get lost in the sauce, it's over. We're gonna go into something else, and we lost the target of what we're really talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's when we'll lose the target of what we're really talking about. So let's get back to what it is. But anyway, Whoopi Goldberg said this, and she got suspended, and I'm not mad at that whatsoever. I'm not mad at Whoopi Goldberg getting suspended. You know why? Because that community felt some type of way about her misrepresenting them. And that's rightfully so. If someone from outside of your community is coming in and misrepresenting your community, there should be reprimandable actions taken upon that. So rightfully so, I totally commend that. Totally commend that. How come we can't do it? That's my whole thing right now. How come we can't do it? Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. You have white folks out here talking nonsense about black folks. No one gets suspended. You know what I'm saying? You had Trump talking about build that wall. You have rapists and criminals from Mexico coming into which is all BS, by the way. Bringing in drugs and fentanyl, which is all BS, by the way. He became the damn president because of that. Nothing happens when it comes to subjugated people under the system of white supremacy. Nothing happens. But when it comes to a group of people, white, who control the majority of the stake of this place, white supremacy, that's when you get reprimanded. And that's the thing that we're talking about right now. Again, we should be using that same group power in order to punish other people who misrepresent our group. And that's how we should be moving from here on out. I'm not mad at the Jewish community for feeling some type of way about what Whoopi did. Even though it's completely petty as hell, I'm gonna keep it real, very petty. But I don't feel no type of way about that. You know why? Because she's misrepresenting that community. And they're right about how they should reprimand somebody that's misrepresenting their community. I'm not mad at that. How come we can't do it? That's the only thing I'm pissed off about. How come we can't do it? You know what I'm saying? How come we can't exercise that same approach when it comes to certain groups of people? How come we can't do it? You know what I'm saying? Literally, this whole last week, I've been seeing a bunch of anti-African, anti-Black American things on Twitter. Them both groups are going at it. I'm just listening, keeping my comments to myself, and staying shut. There was only one room where they were talking about Latinos. Latinos should get it too. Latinos should get it too. Latinos should get it too. You know what I'm saying? And guess what happened to that room? That joint got shut down really quickly. Absolutely true. Yeah, if y'all misrepresenting our group, yeah, shut y'all joint down. I don't care. Y'all misrepresenting the group. You know what I'm saying? Calling us all type of names. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I reported that. I reported that joint. You know what I'm saying? But still, rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? That's an example right there. But my thing is that we should be also, we are a group. We're a large group, but we're not a large group who mobilizes together as we should. And that's the problem. This whole issue about who's who and what's what, and there's a lot of tribalism in the Latin community we got to get over. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of tribalism in the Latin community we have to get over. We are too damn stubborn and too damn far ahead. And actually, to be honest with you, we're not even far ahead. The Latin community is stagnant and has been laid back so much. Every other group is passing us, and we gotta keep it 1,000. The Latin community is very stagnated. There's a lot of tribalism. Mexicans don't mess with Hondurans. Hondurans don't mess with Guatemalans and all that other stuff. There's a lot of tribalism. We need to chill the hell out with that. And it shows in our political structure. You know why? Because they think they could pander to the Latin community. One, by lumping us all in with Latinx, right? That's a way of pandering. And two, by talking about immigration issues. Like, that's a solution to anything. You know what I'm saying? Which is not. But going back to the point, we need to come together as a group. And that's the whole point of this episode. We need to come together as a group. And I'm going to tie this whole thing in. But before I do, let's go into our next topic of the episode. Joe Rogan, racist N-word. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Like I didn't see this coming. They've been calling Joe Rogan a racist for God knows how long. You know what I'm saying? God knows how long. Let me give you guys a little bit of a backstory. Apparently, Neil Young, someone who's irrelevant, to be completely honest, came in and said to Spotify, hey, I'm tired of the misinformation that you're allowing Joe Rogan to have about the virus, the virus. The misinformation that you guys are having, I'm tired of it. You can't have both. You can either have me or Rogan. That's it. So guess who Spotify sided with? If anybody has two brain cells to put together, the only person that they literally gave $150 million to, or $110 million to stay on their platform exclusively, yeah, they're gonna side to the person they just invested in, not to a goddamn nobody. So yeah, they sided with Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? And for just to put it out there, Neil Young, nobody knows who the fuck you are, bro. Chill out. You're not a Drake, okay? Yo, calm down. You're not like a Ariana Grande that could be making those type of demands, homie. Like who you? You know what I'm saying? Spotify goes like, who the hell is Neil Young? What he do? You know what I'm saying? But guess what? It's so funny. Neil Young had all that energy, but then Daddy, that's right, Daddy, which is I think was Hypnosis, the company that owns his stuff, basically said, hey yo, you better go back and apologize because we own your stuff and we paid you to own your stuff, and we're putting it and we have it on Spotify, so you better apologize. So he ended up apologizing. That's right, because of Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Neil Young, nobody knows you. Relax. You know what I'm saying? So the geriatric ex-singer apologizes, right? And now there's a whole avalanche storm that starts spewing over, right? Certain other artists are pulling their music off from Spotify, right? Then Joe Rogan, he does like somewhat of a statement. Now, they've been trying to cancel Joe Rogan for the longest. And this is how I see it. Check this out. This is how I see it. I'm not giving excuses to nobody, but this is how I see it. If they cannot cancel you due to the public woe and the public perception of a certain thing, for example, misinformation, right? The next best thing is racism. Oh my God. Racism. The next best thing is racism. If that doesn't cancel you, then nothing else will. Like, first of all, the blueprint goes with people who's trying to cancel people. Misinformation, right? If that doesn't work, then it'll go to a Me Too type of situation. If that doesn't work, then it'll go to racism. The classic old racism, right? But I don't think they could have got him into a Me Too situation, probably because he's never been into something like that. So they go like, okay, good old classic racism. So they ended up, blowing up a clip of Joe Rogan saying the N-word with a strong ER multiple times in different ways, right? And the thing is, when you guys hear the clip, you clearly hear him say he said N-word, and I quoted N-word and all this other stuff, right? And he was just saying it. And I even put it on Twitter. I said, I don't see Joe Rogan saying this thing. I don't see Joe Rogan saying it randomly. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Joe Rogan saying this randomly. So I need more context to it, right? Again, I'm not giving him a pass. I don't think any white person should say the N-word, even when they're quoting someone, when they're repeating someone, or whatever the case is. I don't think no white person should say, but that's just my opinion, right? But I needed more context because I didn't know what it was. I needed more context. It looked funny style from the beginning, so I was like, I need more context. Then another clip started blowing up with him talking about going to see the Planet of the Apes at a black neighborhood, and then when he walked into the theater, he was at Planet of the Apes. And you see, there's three people: Joey Diaz, Joe Rogan, some other dude. Joe and the other dude stopped laughing. Joey Diaz is not even laughing at all. He's not even. He didn't that didn't even affect him or whatever. He just stood shut, right? But he goes, I was at the planet Apes. But then, if you further go on to the clip, he was like, I don't mean to say it like that. I'm not trying to be racist, but there was a lot of black folks or whatever the case is. And one thing that I gotta say about that is I'm caught in the middle, because one, that statement right there, even with the context attached to it, is still kind of racist. You know what I'm saying? Now, Joe Rogan is a comedian. I understand that. But this is not in the stage of comedy. I'm sorry. You're at a podcast. You're recording a podcast. I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think the podcast is a stage of comedy. You know what I mean? There's other instances where comedians literally bugged out and started, I think was it the dude from, I think was it Seinfeld or whatever the case is. I think that was him, where he bugged out and started saying the N-word and say, yo, back in the day, if you would have did this to me, you would have gotten lynched. I don't respect that, because it wasn't part of his comedy routine. There was no punchline. He just had a mental breakdown. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave that to the side. But when you have that piece of Joe Rogan, right? And hearing that part, I'm like, yeah, that's a little racist. That's a little racist. I myself be like, yeah, no, that's racist. You know what I'm saying? That's racist. The way, even with the context put it onto it, saying, well, I'm not trying to be, you know what I mean? That's still, it doesn't make it any better. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong, but I don't see a podcast as the stage of comedy. You know what I mean? You're not hashing out your jokes. You know what I'm saying? Bill Burr, he has a Monday morning podcast, which I listen to here and there occasionally. And even when he does jokes, he does reoccurring bits sometimes. That's it. That's basically it. Don't tell me that he said that as a way to be funny or no. It came out as racist, and I didn't appreciate that. I was like, God damn. That's not for nothing. That's something Antonio will say. That's something Chivo will say. I wanted to see Planet of the Apes, and then I was at the you know what I'm saying? Come on now. That's something Antonio would say. You feel me? So I didn't really respect that type of narrative. Talking about, oh nah, it was, it wasn't meant to be, it was I didn't respect that. I'm like, nah, the other constant, and I'm not giving that a pass either, but there's some context towards it. You know what I'm saying? This, I don't know. This, I'm not giving a pass. That's some racist ass shit. And also, not for nothing, certain people were sending me clips of Joe Rogan pretty much giving excuses and agreeing to pseudoscience type of like ideology. I'm like, hey, yo, what the hell is this? There's a reason why he's very popular with the alt-right. It's not a coincidence. There's a reason why. So I was like, hey, yo, what is this? What is going on here? You know what I'm saying? There's a reason for that. So I was kind of stepping, I kind of got, I stepped back a little bit. I was like, hey, yo, so I had to like analyze it. So do I think Joe Rogan is racist? I'm going to suspect him as such. I'm going to put him in the suspected category for now. know what I'm saying? I'm going to put him in the suspected category for now. But to be honest, I don't think at this point, I don't believe Joe Rogan is cancelable. It's cancelable. I really think so. He's non-cancelable. I don't think you can actually go out and cancel Joe Rogan. I don't really think that's a viable thing. I don't think that's a thing that actually exists. You know what I'm saying? Because this man has been, since he started with Spotify, this man was hit from everything. Employees getting mad at him. You know, transgenders, this. Alt-right, that. You know, misinformation, this. Racism, that. Man. And he's still moving. Man, listen, at this point, I don't think he's cancelable. You know what I'm saying? I think he's like the Teflon a podcaster. You feel me? I don't really think he's cancelable. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. You guys agree, disagree? Give me your opinion. What you think? Now, moving on to my main topic. Oh boy, this is going to be a doozy. This is going to be a doozy. All Latinos should identify as BNA, Brown Native Americans. Now, what do I mean by that? What am I saying when it comes to that? Let me just break it down real quick, right? Now, I put a poll, right, on my Instagram a couple of days ago, right? I put a poll. I said, I'm thinking of starting a hashtag that we can use constantly in order to stay on code. This is for Latinos who can trace their family lineage back to the Caribbean and Americas. BNA, Brown Native American. What y'all think? Yes and no, right? And apparently the results was 76% of people voted for doing that hashtag BNA, using it. And before I start with my commentary, before I start with how I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna start hashtagging BNA everywhere. On all my posts, on all my subreddits, all my YouTube clips, all my everything. BNA. This is something that we need to start. Okay? As Latin people, we need to start this. BNA. Brown Native American. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's break it down for a little bit. First of all, one, as Latin people, we are conquered by our language and our identifier. This is the way we're conquered. How? Because we were given this by the dominant society of the times and now. Let's look at certain applications. You know, we're put down as ethnicity, and we are given that whole Hispanic label which we had no say-so in. Secondly, I posted this on my Instagram. Plenty of applications, such as U.S. citizenship applications, have Latinos and Caucasian in one box. So once you put Latino, you're putting Caucasian in, which is completely weird, makes no sense, and forcing us to be and identify as white. Right? Okay. Now with that out the way, we need an identifier. We need a racial category. And starting this and using this hashtag will start the conversation for us to have a racial classification, a racial category, not an ethnicity, a racial category. Now, who can use the BNA hashtag and will be considered brown Native American. Latinos who can trace their lineage back by their family who originated in the Caribbean and the Americas, and also who was brought in from Africa and settled into the Americas by forced slavery, right? So there's two categories on that, right? There's two identifiers, right? Because let's keep it real. Those Africans that came in suffered the same brutality and suffered the same things that our native ancestors suffered. Guess what? Majority of us are mixed, either with 3 races or 2. So either way, we're gonna have lineage coming back. You know what I'm saying? Now, this does not apply to the Anglo-Hispanics, and I am going to be 1,000%. This doesn't apply to the Anglo-Hispanics. Anglo is a correct term to use for Spain and for Spaniards because they're considered Anglo under the Anglo caucus and the Anglo meetings that they have. When you look down and you go to their website, who is identified as an Anglo-Saxon country, they have majority of Europe. Spain and Portugal is part of that category. So yes, I am using the right term as Anglo. Now, I am not considering Anglo-Hispanics BNA. Why? Because the majority of them will trace their lineage back to Spain. The majority of them will have their lineage either going back to German, Italy, and all that other stuff, right? And also on top of that, if you are a Anglo-Hispanic and you do have indigenous black, very low percentage of it, right? But the rest of your family, you could trace it back, and the rest of your family are black and brown and stuff, but you're the only Anglo-looking one, is because they themselves decided to better the race. Pretty much getting you the hell out of this whole category. Not my fault. Your family decided, I don't know. Maybe get a tan, I don't know. Do what you gotta do. But the Anglo-Hispanics are not included into this thing. Now, who are included into this thing? And I'm gonna go based on color. The lightest is J-Lo's complexion. To the darkest, Amara La Negra's complexion. From light to dark, anywhere in between, that's what I'm talking about, right? And yes, I'm using color. Why? Because color was based on by the Spanish, on the caste system. So, hey, fuck it, let's keep it going, right? It was based on the caste system, and that's something that we can actually understand and not quantify so broadly, right? So anyway, with that being said, BNA. Now let's get back into the ideology of it. Brown Native Americans. We as Latin people share a lot of DNA and a lot of heritage with the native people of the Americas. A lot. From the Caribbean to Central to South and North America, we share the same blood and knowledge base. It's to the point where the majority of Latinos, if you want to, it's really interesting. I was reading a book. It said, if you want to know if you have native DNA, majority native DNA, native roots, take a bite of an apple. If the teeth, your teeth on that apple is shaped like a shovel, like a little small, like seed, shaped like a shovel, that is proof that you are majority native, which is 100% true. But I don't want to categorize brown Native American just to be native. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put it there, but we do share a lot of native DNA with the native indigenous people of the Americas. This is 100% true, you know? And also, our family is native to those type of lands. So this would correspond with what we're calling ourselves, BNAs, Brown Native Americans. Now, why am I choosing the word brown? Is because certain people will have a negative connotation with black Native Americans, and somebody is already doing all that. And a lot of people, when I put this out, is saying, well, this is a straight comparison of foundational black Americans. And it is. And I'm going to keep it 1,000. It is, because that's where I got the idea. FBA, right? I could say foundational brown Americans, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say BNA, Brown Native American. And that's absolutely true. We actually can go back to the original start of this land and actually claim ownership and be 1,000% honest with it. Our people were here. You know what I'm saying? This is what our culture consisted of. And this is something I believe that we should be putting out there. I think that we should start using this hashtag BNA, BNA, BNA. That's what I believe we should start using it. Because we need our own classification. I believe this is a start to a greater conversation that we need to have. That's what I believe. And that's how I truly think that we need to do. I believe this is a bigger conversation that we need to have. If you guys agree or disagree with me, let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you guys want to hit me up and disagree with me directly, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at the same name, radical_Latino_. And I'm going to leave you guys with my 2 favorite quotes. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. And if black and brown unity doesn't happen within my lifetime, I might not change the world, but I might inspire the mind that will. With that being said, I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace!